So Jose, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
So do we live in a poorer and more unequal world today, or is it the opposite?
There is a generalized perception that the world is poorer today and more unequal. In fact, it isn't. The data we have, the evidence we have shows that for the last 25 years, there's been a dramatic reduction of poverty in the world. In a period in which the population has grown by about 2 billion people, there's been a reduction of poverty by 1 billion. And only in the last year, at least for which we have data, from 2012 to 2013, there's been a reduction of poverty by about 100 million people. So clearly, perception don't match the numbers we have.
Well, that really is good news to hear. But how are children faring worldwide in terms of poverty?
We know that children are the most vulnerable individuals in society. They're more exposed to the risks and vulnerabilities that lead to poverty. And in fact, while they represent about a third of the global population, they are half of all the global poor in the world. Especially the problem is most acute in Africa and as a country in India.
Well, that's certainly concerning to hear. But tell us, why is it important for Ghana to know about the global trends in poverty and inequality in the rest of the world?
I think these global trends give us two important messages. The first one is that it is possible to reduce poverty and inequality. We've seen that in many countries in different contexts. And secondly, give you an idea of which are the policies and interventions that are more conducive to reduce poverty and inequality. And this is important information for policymakers, also civil society in Ghana, to design, implement and monitor those policies addressing poverty and inequality.
But is it not the case that it's only the richer countries that can seek to reduce poverty and inequality?
Not at all. In fact, that's a myth. We see that precisely richer countries have done worse in terms of reducing inequality recently. It's been low-income countries, middle-income countries being successful in reducing poverty and inequality without even jeopardizing growth. So I think there is a lesson there to take and some hope that it's possible to reduce poverty and inequality in any country, in any circumstance.
Well, that's really encouraging to hear. So finally, what can Ghana learn from poverty reduction practices and policies from other countries in the world?
I think there are a few lessons to take into account. The first one is that there is not a unique single policy that will reduce poverty and inequality. It's a mix of policies, a set of policies that will take us there. The second one is that it has to be country-specific. The good policies that we think are conducive to reduce poverty and inequality have to be adapted to the Ghanaian context. There is no such a thing as one fit all for every country. And the third one is that the policy for which have the best evidence that can reduce poverty and inequality without necessarily jeopardizing growth are a few. For instance, investing in human capital, education, health, investing in social protection mechanisms that protect the poor from risks, but also investing in infrastructure, making markets closer to the poor people, to poor producers, and also making sure that the economy is in good health to foster growth, a growth that is inclusive.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jose. Very much
My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.